Welcome back to Winning Law. I'm attorney David Nguyen with offices in Houston, Texas. And today we're going to go over a notice of intent to revoke. So if you're at home, you might be wondering, what is a notice of intent to revoke? So what this means is that immigration approved your case previously, and then something happened, and now they're trying to revoke their approval, but they're giving you about 30 days to respond. The hard part is that when immigration notifies you that you have a notice of intent to revoke, it takes them about 7 to 10 business days just to deliver it to you. By the time that you actually receive it, you and your attorney may only have less than 20 days to respond. So 2 days ago, we received a call from a woman that was very panicky. You could hear it in her voice, and she told me that her son filed a spousal petition for his wife. They attended the visa interview together, and after the interview, the immigration officer denied the visa and sent the case back to immigration. It took the visa officer or the consulate 6 months to send the case back to USCIS. Once that happened, USCIS sent them a notice of intent to revoke. So today is an interesting day because what I did was I saw this client at 5 p.m. On Tuesday. And so our offices close at 6. So after we met them that day, they wanted to sign up right away. So we signed them up. And then I just told them, you know what, leave the files, all your files with me. I'm going to sort it all out. So the problem with this case is that before they hired our office, they were working with a wannabe attorney. So I'm pretty sure that you know what I'm talking about. You go to the mall, you go to a shopping center, you go to your accountant, and there's these strange places that they do a lot of services. They help you file your taxes, maybe they help book your ticket, they're a travel agency, and they just happen to do immigration on the side. So the interesting thing is that I have the case file here. So before I give it back to the client, I wanted to go over it with you, and I'm going to tell you exactly how that public notary or that wannabe attorney messed their case up. Because if they would have done this the right way, his wife would have already had a visa by now, and we wouldn't be in this situation. So let me go over some of the things with you. The first thing I'm looking at is an affidavit, which is a statement on how they met, their relationship that this person helped them create. And I can tell you that the affidavit outright is already messed up because immigration actually has a affidavit requirement list. So all affidavits must contain certain things, such as a person's full name, their date of birth, where they were born, if they're over 18, and it should be sworn. There's a lot of different things that affidavits have to have. So usually what I do is that if I look at this affidavit and it doesn't even contain, the 5 or 7 things that immigration says that affidavits have to contain, I already know that the person who did this didn't know what they were doing. There's actually Vietnamese words in here. And another thing to note with immigration is that if you give immigration anything that's not in English, you have to have it translated. So that's one big red flag when I looked at this affidavit. Also, another thing I noticed was that the language in this affidavit is in broken English. So I know that many of you are from another country and you're watching this video and you love it when the person helping you with your immigration document speaks your language or is from your country. However, let me just warn you, speak with them in English because the application is in English and the person looking at your application is an American. So if that person that you're conversing with doesn't speak English very well, they're going to mess up your case, just like this case. Like when I read it, it doesn't even make sense. So this is what I'm talking about. When you hire someone, make sure that they can speak English and they can speak very well, because when they help you write an affidavit or look it over for grammar and spelling, they need to know what they're doing and not submit something like this to where when the immigration officer is looking at it, they don't know what it is. It doesn't make sense to them and they're most likely going to deny your case. I see that the client submitted a bunch of pictures to the consulate, which is good. However, the format of the pictures is incorrect. You're not supposed to send the actual pictures with your application. So what this, public notary or wannabe attorney did was that they just told the client to tape the pictures to regular pieces of paper. So when you look at this, it's very heavy. And so it's just odd, to get a document like this where pictures are taped together and they're not even labeled. So that's the wrong way to do it. So when you hire an attorney, attorneys shouldn't be taping or stapling pictures together. And not to mention, they have so many of these things grouped into sections. Like it says, this is for trip 1, this is for trip 2, this is for trip 3. This is very confusing to do it. If you have pictures, you definitely want to label them. Make sure that you identify the parties, make sure you indicate the day that it was taken and where it was taken. This is all information immigration needs when they're looking at your photos. If they look at photos and they're not labeled, you can't expect the immigration officer to know right away who is in the picture. They may recognize you because you go to the interview, but they don't recognize anyone else. The problem with consular processing, just throwing it out there, is that when you file for, a foreign national that's overseas, it's very difficult because you're dealing with 3 different government agencies. First, you're filing a case with USCIS here in the United States. After they approve it, they send it to the National Visa Center, which is a separate agency. They deal with the visa application. After you finish with the visa application, it gets sent over to the consulate. So a lot of people have issues. They may not have issues with the first place, but they may have issues with the second or third place, or vice versa. You may not have an issue with the first or second place, but you may have an issue with the consulate, like in this case. So when you're dealing with consular processing, make sure whoever you hire has experience dealing with consular processing. They know what to do, because if they don't, you're going to have an issue with one of those agencies and they don't know what to do. Another thing that I noticed just right off the bat is that they have a bunch of pictures that all are from the same day. If you get married to someone, you don't need to provide so many pictures, like the wedding, especially the wedding. So what I see most often is that people submit pictures only of the wedding. So they'll submit pictures of, here's us waiting outside of the chapel. Here's our picture driving to the wedding venue. Here's us eating cake. Here's us eating lobster. Well, this is the thing. If you're wearing the same exact clothes, it's on the same exact day, only submit one picture because the government gets it. They know that you were there on that particular day. Then submit other pictures. Don't submit all pictures all alike because it doesn't do anything to strengthen your case. There are some exceptions into when you would submit multiple pictures on the same day, but that's client and attorney strategy. So if you don't have an attorney, consider hiring one just so you know the best way to do it. Another thing that I noticed on here was that you can tell that whoever helped them really didn't know anything about immigration. So I think part of the interview process, they were asked to submit proof that the foreign national had a degree. So this foreign national actually has a nursing degree. To prove this, all you would really have to submit is the person's transcripts and diploma and maybe their license. Whoever helped them really did a disservice for them. It makes them look kind of stupid, to be honest with you, because they submitted pictures of the person in their nursing uniform. That to me shows me that the person helping them really doesn't know, they don't know a lot about immigration, because a picture really doesn't show anything. And you can prove it just by having those degrees, those transcripts, and also maybe the license for the nursing. You don't actually have to show a picture of them in the uniform to prove that that's what they do. And when you do that, it just shows that you don't know what you're doing. And when immigration sees that, they may be worried that the rest of your application is flawed because you're messing up a lot on just small things. What else here? Another thing with this is that this person, whoever helped them, I think they're a family friend that owns this business that does immigration on the side. They refuse to actually give this client back their file. When you're dealing with a client, you should always ask your attorney, where's a copy of my file, and the attorney should just give it to you because you're entitled to it. When a law firm or an agency refuses to give you a copy of your documents, you have to wonder why they're refusing to give it to you. Is it because they're worried that you're going to see all the mistakes on the forms? I'm not sure what it is, but the client told me that they're not able to get a copy of the immigration documents, which is very crazy to me. Okay, so I think that's it about this. So as you can see, there's a big difference when you hire an experienced attorney versus a non-experienced or a non-attorney. There are reasons why attorneys go to law school. There are reasons why we are forced to take a Texas bar exam or a bar exam, and why we're forced to pass it in order to practice law in Texas or anywhere else in the world. So when you go to a person that does not have a law license, is not an attorney, this is what can happen to your case. You spend so much time and money trying to go through the process, and what do you get from it? What this person got was that they lost maybe a year from the time that they could have been with their spouse. So money is one thing, money you can always get, but time you cannot get. So hopefully today you learned a little bit about what a notice of intent to revoke is and what it means for your case. Also, hope you learned why it's important for you when you hire someone to help you with your immigration case, you hire someone that is experienced and licensed as an immigration attorney. If they're not, you can expect delays, and you can also expect all of these issues because, for example, this client is now being accused of marriage fraud. So those are things to watch out for when you hire someone to help you with your case. Again, I'm attorney David Nguyen. This is Winning Law, and I hope that we have made immigration easier to understand.
At David Nguyen's Law Office, we are here to help you. We bring families together through immigration. And on the other hand, we help you find solutions. All your legal needs in the hands of people who care, who are there for you. We'll take care of your loved ones at the law office of David Nguyen.